So the question is, do we have free choice or we don't have free choice after all, right? So there is many answers to that question, and let me give you my answer. My answer, it depends who you are. Okay? What does it mean depends who you are? There is the real righteous people that they are basically like angels. They cannot go anything against the will of Hashem. They cannot do anything negative, any sin. They are purified themselves so much, so they are basically like angels that almost have no free will. There is some degree of free will there, of, for example, how to do the mitzvah. Like, for example, it's obvious that he will learn all the time, but he can choose what he will learn, or slow, fast, whatever. That will be his free choice. But he won't have, it's not an option for him not to learn, for example, or not to put on tefillin. Obviously, he will put on tefillin, but he can choose to do it early or a little bit later, or to meditate more, or to meditate less with the tefillin. That will be his choices. So it has a certain limitation of free choice. The same thing also in the very extreme negative side. So people that are very negative, they cannot wake up in the morning and choose to start put on tefillin and learn and eat kosher and everything, because they are not there. They became to be captured in their own habits and of cruelty and mean ways and all kinds of things that are not proper, and they are trapped there. So they don't really have a choice. They are trapped within the lusts and desires. So they have also some kind of a free choice of whatever. Obviously, if someone pisses him off, so he will kill him. But he can choose to kill him this way, to kill him that way, whatever. So he has some free choice. Yeah, he's he cannot hold himself not to kill, not to do things that are not proper. But between the different choices of what is the non-proper things that he will do, he can choose. Right? So this is the two extremes. Okay? So obviously the vast majority of the world is not in those extremes. Most of the world is in somewhere in the middle. A little bit more, a little bit less, more righteous, less righteous, but somewhere in the middle. And then there is more free choice. Yeah? There is more free choice. But every person have a certain spectrum of his free choice at that moment. That is not total. Okay? Now, going back to your question, if one guy supposed to get punished by someone knocking on his head with a hammer, and there's another guy that walks next to him, so would he be the one that knocks on the other guy's head with a hammer? So if you have a choice, you have a choice. If he doesn't have a choice, he doesn't have a choice. What does it mean? It means if this person is very righteous, so obviously it won't be him. He will walk next to him, and it won't be him because he's righteous. So because he's righteous, he will not be the one that will give the punishment. The one that is giving the punishment, the guy that's supposed to get the punishment, is someone that is already wicked, and is designated to give punishments, because he is already in the negative side. The negative side is the side that is in charge of the punishments, right? So someone that is already within the negative, so if he's really mean, so probably it will be him. And if he's somewhere in the middle, so it depends. In that moment, he will have the choice to go to the negative side and to be the one that will give the punishment, or to go to the positive side, and then someone else will be the one that makes that punishment to happen, for example. Yeah, and obviously that person that's supposed to get the punishment also have a choice of repenting and saying, Hashem, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and then he can get away from the punishment in some ways if he's doing it properly, right? So there's also another side of the free choice in the person that receives the punishment, or supposed to receive the punishment. Yeah. And even, let's say, he didn't do it, and he did receive the punishment from this guy or from another guy, then he will have another free choice of how to relate to that. To say, oh, Hashem is not protecting me. There's no God in the picture because if God exists, so how come I got a hammer knocked on my head, and so forth and so forth. Yeah, that will be one possibility of using that thing that happened to him to deny the divine providence. Or exactly the opposite, that the person is receiving a punishment and he's using that as a trigger to strengthen his faith in Hashem and to say, yes, I know I deserved it, I harmed this guy, I did this, whatever it is, I deserve this punishment, and from now on I will straighten my ways and go in the way of Hashem, and to protect myself also to not to have hammers knocking on my head, for example. Yeah. So I don't know if that's a full answer, but it's definitely some answer to some degree for some people, for some circumstances. And with all of that, we're hoping that when we're saying that we want redemption, so what does it mean? We want the free choice, or we don't want the free choice? Right? That's always a question, right? About the whole creation. So, to my humble opinion, it goes back to the argument of Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel, that they're asking, is it good for the man to be created, or it's not good for the man to be created, right? So, basically the answer in the end is Nimnu v'gamru Tov lo shelo nivra. It would have been better for the human beings not to be created. Yeah? Now when we are created, there's also much lust and desires in the world. It's very hard to be righteous, right? So it could have been better to stay with Hashem, to be the pure souls in Gan Eden, not to have all of those problems with the physicality. We don't have to run around to get food and then this, that. Why we need all of these troubles, right? But we did create it. We were created. Hashem didn't ask us. He asked the angels if to create men. He didn't ask men if to create men, right? He didn't ask us. He created us, so it's not our choice. So in that point we didn't have choice. Afterwards we had the choice. But what is the answer? Follows that. Now after it was the man was created, Yasok b'Torah. We should learn Torah. Okay? After we were created, so now in this situation that we're here in this world and we have to deal with all of the physicality of this world, what is the way that we can deal with it in the right way? With Torah. If we learn Torah, the Torah is teaching us how to deal with the world, how to live our life, how to be better human beings. And this is the way that we can go through this life, that we have to deal with all of these physical things in this physical world without falling into the sin, into the physical, into the lust and desires. And this is the answer. In this situation, that's the best choice. To learn Torah and to keep the Torah, and then Hashem is protecting us and saving us with the help of Hashem.